I play fighter pilot Alex Kamal, who is a Martian-born, fourth-generation Mars-born Navy pilot who is of Pakistani descent, who speaks with a Texas accent. So it's a very interesting kind of amalgamation of characters and cultures that make up Mars. And Alex is kind of the quintessential Martian, where he's a fusion of a number of different cultures. He was brought up in the Navy, the Mars Navy, and he was always kind of assigned to freight and transport and some of the less glamorous stuff, but he's always dreamed of being that fighter pilot. He's always dreamed of being the one behind that stick of the more kind of adventurous ships. And at the beginning of the series, the whole team is thrust into a situation beyond their control, which forces us all to kind of step up to the plate, and he finally gets that chance, the chance to be that fighter pilot that he always dreamed of being, and we all get to see whether or not he's got what it takes.
Fascinating. Now, Syfy has been around for, gosh, since like the 50s. What has The Expanse done to set itself above other sci-fi shows and movies and whatnot?
The Expanse actually brings a lot of unique kind of elements to the sci-fi world, which we've only seen in some rare snippets, usually in movies. In television, you have not seen the type of realism and gritty ultra realism that you're going to see in The Expanse, because there's really no conceit, no suspension of disbelief in Expanse, whereas in so much of the television you see, you've got faster than light travel, you've got artificial gravity, you've got aliens, you've got all sorts of stuff that allows this to be a complete escape in fantasy world, which, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm a sci-fi fan, I love that stuff. But what people are going to get to see, what the fans are going to get to see with The Expanse, is what it would really be like in 300 years when we have colonized just the inner reaches of our solar system, because it is unbelievably hard and dangerous to do this. I mean, as we know, just watching some of the things that happen in our own space program, it's life-threatening. Space itself is probably the biggest obstacle we have. So how do you do travel with no gravity? How do you do travel that takes months and months and months just to get somewhere, and there's nothing in between? How do you live outside and colonize a planet when there's no water, no oxygen, no elements that you're working with? Like, all of a sudden, water and air become more valuable than gold when you're out in the asteroid belt, where the belters live. So in the same way that we braved the pioneers, braved new countries and set up the Wild West, and how difficult that was, kind of like carving a path and creating a niche for ourselves, that's where we're at with The Expanse. We've carved out a niche. We're barely able to do this. Our technology is being pushed right to the limits, and we're in our infancy trying to survive in a hostile environment with none of the bells and whistles that you'll see in traditional sci-fi. Even, I think the most kind of like adventurous conceit that we have is a thing called the Epstein drive, which is a propulsion system that never stops accelerating. It's not by any means faster than light travel, but it's a continuously accelerating propulsion system which allows them to create gravity while we're moving. But when we stop moving, there's no gravity in space. So you'll get to see a lot of zero-G acting.
Awesome. And finally, can I have one more question? If you could make a Expanse video game, what would you do in it?
What would I do in it? Alex would probably be wearing his headphones, blasting away to some kind of crazy Bangra Martian fusion, and so you'd get to do some kind of like cockpit kind of fighter pilot stuff going down. First person.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, man. Thank you.